Hi, friend. Hope you're doing super well. So, today I want to talk to you about the two letters to the Thessalonians. So, the Thessalonians, they were, a group of people that came to know faith through Paul when he was teaching in their synagogue. He came there, and I assume, since it was the synagogue, the majority of people that came to know Jesus in that area were probably from a Jewish background. So he starts teaching them about Jesus, about the Messiah, and all those things, and people coming to know Jesus. It's amazing. But while he's teaching in that synagogue, a mob starts to form because some people, they weren't believers in the Jewish faith. They were just by title Jews, and they kind of riled up this wild mob. So they drove Paul out of the town, and he had to fear for his life. So a little bit later, he meets with Timothy in Athens, and when he meets him there, he gives him those letters for the Thessalonians because he heard so many great things that they're doing and that they're so well, and he's just sharing with them how proud he is of them. So Timothy brings those letters. So these are the letters we want to look at today. So a few things that stuck out to me from them is first of all, we have to look at it from the perspective of this was written to a Jewish crowd. A lot of the other letters that we read were written to a Gentile crowd. So it's very different. A Jewish crowd had already a certain foundation in the Jewish faith, right? So they already knew about a Savior. They kind of had already an idea. So his approach was a bit different, how he shared with them, and he touches different things. So when we read through it, we have to look at it from that perspective as well. So some of the things that stuck out to me was how Paul talks about that trust produces action. And then love produces hard work. So we should show our love through hard work. And your hope brings perseverance. So having hope brings perseverance. And then the last one he said and challenges them in the verse in the first chapter, verse 3, was that our faith needs to show action. So all of those things combined, when you look at it, we need to show action. Our faith can't be just hidden somewhere. It needs to show an action. It needs to make a difference in the world. Otherwise, what are we doing? So Paul really challenges the people, guys, don't be in this bubble, but be out there. Show action. And then he also challenges them, guys, don't share the gospel to get favor with people. Share it honestly. Share it in a way that people understand, but bring the full truth. Because, by sharing the gospel, you don't want to get fair with people, but you're getting favor with your Father in heaven because he's excited and he's happy. Oh, you're co-laboring with him. You're making a difference, which is way better than any blessing you can get from people. And then he also challenges people in the third chapter about to constantly pray. It's in the 10th verse of the third chapter. I love that, because he's always saying guys, I'm praying for you constantly. Isn't that an encouragement for all of us? To think about people in our environments, in our neighborhoods, and to start praying for them. Because we might be the only ones that pray for them. There might be nobody else that's praying for them. It might be just us. And we have the opportunity to do that. I love that. And then he also talks about that, we should not be lazy. He started at the beginning, how faith produces actions and all those things. But he's pointing it out again in the fifth chapter. So I think there was in that congregation a little bit of an issue that people didn't want to work, some people. And so he's challenging that and says, guys, don't be lazy, get to work and do something. So it's he's really pushing them a little bit. And that really stuck out to me as well. We shouldn't be lazy. We should really work for the kingdom and make a difference. But not out to earn something, but more to really make a difference, to follow God's heart. And then towards the end, he's really challenging the congregation because I guess there was some persecution too and some hardness. And he's challenging them to stay joyful, to regularly pray because that's their connection with God, and to stay thankful in all of those circumstances they're in. Whatever's happening, never change. Just stay thankful. And the last thing he's challenging them on is like to test every word given, that it actually comes from God. Not to just take a message and to just believe it, but like really think about it and bring it back to God and bring it back to what Jesus said, and then start believing it if it's true. So I really love like Paul calling them out to really think different kind of and live different. And then in the second Thessalonians, he's really encouraging them to grow in their faith and in their love for each other. Like he's like, guys, like your love for each other is so important, because that's showing the world like that we're different, and that's what's attracting people. So love each other well. And then he's also warning them in the second chapter about like to watch out for people who want to deceive them. I guess there were people out there that didn't really bring the message, that brought more like kind of like a thing to bring attention to themselves or make themselves look good. Sorry. But he challenges them and says, guys, like, don't let anyone deceive you. There's only one Messiah, and that's Jesus. And he brings them really clear to it. And he talks about also that some of those false prophets and people, they will do miracles and signs, like things like that happen, and they do wonders, and crazy things are happening. But they don't follow God. Instead, they follow their own ways. They follow their own ideas. They follow what they want, but not what God's calling them to do. So Paul challenges that thinking. And he talks about that the enemy gives them power to deceive people. So we need to be careful looking at that chapter and thinking about like even our lives today. We need to be careful what influences us and what affects us. And then we need to check every spirit and message we hear with God's word. Again, like I said it before, we need to check in with God and see like if this is actually from him. And then he's challenging the congregation to imitate him, like Paul, in doing good. Not being lazy. He wants to show them, guys, like it's possible, and we're called to do that. He didn't say it like to make himself look good, but he did it because they probably knew Paul was a hard worker and he makes a huge difference. And he says, guys, like, follow that example. Make a difference. Like, follow Jesus. And do work diligently. Do it in a way that inspires others. And then live the right way. Because don't do work just like, yeah, it's getting done or whatever. Do it, like, with your full heart. And he challenged other congregations with that, too. I guess, like, that's something we could really clam from like all those different letters that were written in the New Testament and call out, because I think it's important. The way we live our lives affects other people, and they see Jesus in us or don't. So it's very important we live that in the right way. And then he says that again in the 11th verse on chapter 3, like, don't just work to look busy, but really work, like get actually something done. And he ends the chapter, or he ends the book kind of like with a shalom from God over them. A shalom peace. So shalom is not just the peace we think of, like it's like, oh yeah, peace, world peace, or whatever we think of. Shalom is a peace that encompasses every part of our life. Shalom, when it's spoken over like people, it's a real blessing, but every part of their life, anything. So Paul speaks that over people. So I think it's really cool, like how he really wants to bless them and make a difference there. I love that. So yeah, these are just some thoughts that I pulled out of Thessalonians. I encourage you to read the 2 books and be inspired through them, because they're pretty awesome. And yeah, God, I just want to pray that every person that watched it will be inspired, like will be encouraged by the book of Thessalonians, and be pumped to read it, and just to want to read it. And Father, I want to pray for inspiration and time to read it too. Just encourage every person through it. Thank you, Jesus, for that. And I just want to pray blessings over them. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, have a great, great week. Bye.